of guilt when I'm on time that normal people get when they're late.
Right.
Because I feel
Makes
like
sense.
I'm not setting myself up for superstardom correctly.
But that's one
I
thing.
need to be a casual 15 minutes late, or people won't think I'm famous and busy.
But that's one thing that you guys have in the gay community is when we're late, we're irresponsible. When you're late, it's cute.
Yes, I think that I think that counts as gay privilege of some kind.
That works. So listen, Milo Yiannopoulos, congratulations, by the way, on the book. The book is
thank you.
Dangerous, and it's a bestseller, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's doing even better than you probably know. Wow. We have tens of thousands of pre-orders on Amazon. They just put their sales estimates up to something like 150,000.
I'm one.
That's only half the market. So we think we're going to sell 300,000 copies, and I haven't even started marketing it yet.
Right.
If we sell 500,000 copies of this book, I mean, it's the most influential conservative book since the Holy Bible. It's a really lovely thing.
You know what it means? Means the bitch is back.
I never know what words I can use on this show, so I'm glad I can say that. Yeah, no, it does, and not only that, but thanks to the censors, the nannies, the cultural scolds, not only am I going to sell more books this time around, but because we're publishing it in my own imprint, I'm going to make 5 times as much money.
Right, exactly. Yes. So,
make 5 times as much money.
So
it's wonderful.
In the end, a couple of months ago, when you went through all that nonsense,
yes,
and even you admitted on this show, let me remind you, that for about a day or so, you were even a little nervous and edgy.
I don't think I used either of those words, but I think I said it was something like, I think I probably said it was a horrible 36 hours.
Maybe something like that.
That's right. That is what you said.
But as it turns out, it's going to work in your favor.
I have a really good memory, you know.
It's going to work in your favor because now I think you're more beloved, revered than you ever were.
I think so. I mean, you know, I'm one of the reasons I was late is people in the street on the way here were like, you know, asking for selfies and all.
Is that right?
Yeah, and this is New York. This is the belly of the beast. This is enemy territory for me, you know? Like, nobody likes me in New York, you know? But you two are the only people in New York who will actually speak to me.
You mean you're not going to
Every time I land, I'm like, oh, well, at least Bernie and Sid will have me on.
You mean you're not going to be the Grand Marshal at the Gay Pride Parade this weekend?
That's
Sunday.
Oh, they hate me. Well, no, actually, I'm hosting my own Pride party for, you know, gays who are like honest about Islam. And then, actually, I'm having a gay shame party at a private. I am at a private venue. I'm going as my alter ego, Ivana Wall, my drag queen alter ego. I'm Ivana Wall.
That's funny, man. That's here in New York. You doing this?
Yes, I am. Yeah. So if you want an invitation for that, try and get in touch with us. It's going to be quite tightly controlled, I think, but I'm sure there are some places left if you get in touch with us.
So you won't march up Fifth Avenue during the parade.
They hate me so much.
You would be in danger of your security would be in.
What do you mean?
Well, I can't
jeopardy.
afford to go out in public. I mean, my personal private security bills are $500,000 a year as it is. If I went to gay pride, I'd have to double it.
Well, who hates you? Now, you always say that the lesbians hate you.
Well, with some justification.
Yes.
Because I'm so rude about them. right. I don't blame them for hating me. I just blame them for being lesbians.
Who do you like less? Who do you like less? Okay, it's a serious question. I'm not joking around here.
Okay.
Who do you like less?
Yes.
Lesbians?
Yes.
Or ISIS?
Oh God! Don't do this to me.
That's
I've got
that's a brain twister.
Oh goodness!
Really, it's worthy of consideration.
No, of course it is. Of course it is, because ISIS on the one hand is just, you know, it's just the Middle East eating itself, which will be the case. You know, has been the case since the dawn of time. Will be the case until the end of human civilization.
Too?
Lesbians are very nice. So they eat each other for sure. Good heavens! I mean, I got.
Good heavens.
Lena Dunham having ribs removed. No, she'd need a lot of lipo. Anyway, I've just had that, by the way. I've just had this thing. It's kind of low. Well, it's low impact lipo. It's called Air Sculpt. And they say
cool sculpting.
What?
Cool sculpting? You wrap the thing around your stomach for an hour?
No. It's surgical. I was there for 10 hours. They were removing things from me, but I have such a great ass now. I can't. No. It was $25,000, but It looked. I'm trying to spend my bonus, you know. It looks fantastic.
Is it sore right now?
Yes.
Oh, good.
But in a different way to usual.
Congratulations.
Not from the surgery, though.
That's what I meant.
This is a different kind of rear soreness. God, what was it? It's a good job you've had 2 hours to soften people up. My good, 11:14. Some people are just waking up to this, you know.
Would you like a Tylenol or something?
No, I'm good.
So listen.
I mean, old people are having their breakfast cereal now.
Not anymore.
It's been spat out. There are New Yorkers picking vomit from their keyboards as we speak.
Oh man,
that's great.
Well, you know what? They're probably too fat anyway, so that's good. Listen. Milo's book is dangerous. It's you can pre-order it on Amazon. It's The Bitch is Back. What is it called? The subtitle is The Book That Will Save Western Civilization.
Yeah, we have lots of subtitles. Normally, I just like to use things that people have said about me as marketing. So Bloomberg Business Week called me pretty and monstrous, which I thought was a really nice compliment.
That's cool, yeah.
What are you saying? I'm hot and you're scared of me? Fantastic.
Right.
People call me all kinds of terrible names, so I just put all of the terrible things that people say about me on my billboards. So we have subway posters going up in Chicago, DC, and New York with all of the terrible things the press is, as bleach blonde tantrum, starter and all this kind of stuff. No, it's great. So and very exciting. I am having, and this is a big moment for me. You two have been in the game for a long time, but this is very exciting for me because I'm new to all this. I have my first billboard.
That's very exciting.
In Times Square. It's going up on Monday. Monday morning, and it's going to be there for 3 weeks to advertise the book.
Huge.
And it is a gigantic picture of my face, and that's it.
I've never had that. That's great.
Isn't it exciting?
That is exciting.
Yes.
No, it's one of those career milestones. It's like I've done. Like as a journalist, when you begin to become something different, like some sort of like a media personality or whatever it is that this is, you have milestones. Like the first time you ever do like live national news,
sure.
this, and then no, it's a really nice career milestone. It feels good, And I couldn't have done it without the people who want to censor, perfectly respectable, reasonable, ordinary points of view and fat jokes. And if we can't make fat jokes, I think that's really the end of Western civilization.
It really is. That's the start.
Trying to ban fat jokes is, of course, the purview of lesbians.
So, Milo Yiannopoulos, let's just get right to the news. We had the president this week. It was going to be a big referendum on the president on Wednesday. It was like election night.
Wasn't it wonderful?
Election night redux.
The reason I've come in sweatpants, although they are Balmain, is that my erection has not gone down since MSNBC said they were going to they're going to have wall-to-wall all-night coverage of the Georgia special election, and then the Republican wins, and suddenly they find an interesting tree.
They go to the Navy ship collision all of a sudden.
Suddenly there's a fascinating human interest story that requires our attention, because we must stop talking about Georgia and that wonderful, amazing, incredible CNN meme, sad CNN with the four faces. Oh my God, I died.
Gloria Borger, Dana Bash, and a couple of these emasculated, nameless weenies, male guys, sitting there looking like their cat just got run over by a truck.
Honestly, they look themselves like dogs that have just been kicked half to death.
Even better.
Glum and miserable.
And I get aroused looking at that my damn self.
But there is a story.
It's actually the only thing that gets me up in the morning these days because I'm so tender and sore after the surgery.
Sure.
The only thing that gets me up is the sad CNN meme.
Yeah. Well, I found it hard waking up this morning. See what I did there? Anyway, there was a story this week where you came up on this show. Had nothing to do with Donald. Yeah, well, it has something to do with Donald Trump. We often talk about how it's unfair when people like you or Ann Coulter want to speak at Berkeley and what happens.
Yes.
So there was a play that took place here in New York, Shakespeare in the play.
Oh, yeah.
And they assassinate Donald Trump. So some young lady, 24-year-old girl who was on with me and Bernard, she was on our show. She stormed the stage.
Laura Loomer.
That's
right. Is she nice? I don't know her.
Sweetheart. She was great with us. And by the way, she went to school at Barry down in Miami by you.
Okay.
Anyway, she stormed the stage. And I said to her, I said, well, hold on a second. If you're going to bitch and complain that you don't allow the quote-unquote show to go on, when Milo tries to speak at Berkeley, how do you make an argument for what you did in Central Park?
That's a good question. What did she say?
What did she say?
Well, she said, which is the proper answer, Milo's not advocating violence. The play is advocating the assassination of our sitting president, duly elected.
But here's it's still the First Amendment.
No, I have to. She sounds great, but this is where I have to differ with her because this is where I think conservatives lose people. I don't think that's true. I don't think that art, can be accused of directly advocating for violence, and I think you should be able. I don't think that any play or any art show or any college talk should be prevented from proceeding for any reason. I can't deny that I find the prospect of progressives getting a taste of their own medicine delicious. And I love the idea. I love the idea that finally they're getting a taste of what it's been like for 30 years on the other side, you know? And finally, now your stuff's getting stopped, and your stuff is getting censored, and you're the ones on the receiving end of outrage mobs and boycotts and all the rest of it. I'm not going to deny that I love the sight of these hypocrites getting a taste of their own medicine. But I have to say I differ with Laura on this, because I personally...
I thought you would.
I personally would rather everything gets seen, everything gets a platform. I want as many people as possible to see these guys assassinating Trump, because who ends up looking bad? Not us. You know?
We don't want to turn into the snowflakes that they are. We don't want to become them.
Exactly. So you know, she sounds great, and I love that she did it on this one occasion. But I wouldn't, and I like the fact that conservatives are getting ballsy and have the chutzpah and the sense of humor and are enjoying themselves and having a little taste of it.
Sure.
But I would like us very quickly to get to the point. Now, Trump is in office, and I think everyone gets the point that this censorship and boycott stuff is bad. So I would very quickly like us to get to the point where everyone just lets stuff happen.
So what about Kathy Griffin, the self-ordained Nelson Mandela for the gays and the ISIS Trump head?
Well, once again, I think she should be allowed to make an idiot of herself, you know, and I think what happened to her is the market working as intended. I mean, you know, she's a family entertainer, and when she wanders into quite hardcore political activism, she becomes somebody that maybe we don't want to see on New Year's Eve, and that's up to CNN, and that's fine. That's the market working as intended. I don't think that's censorship. I think that's a response to her own actions, because I believe in complete free speech, but free speech, of course, has consequences. If you choose to use it irresponsibly, or you choose to use it in a way that alienates half the population, your employer can do what they want about that.
But how about Anderson Cooper, speaking of gay people or whatever? Not that matters in this case.
Do you have a bucket? But we're going to have a conversation about silver-haired goon.
He threw her under the bus in a matter of hours. He was like, "This was disgusting."
Well, of course, they love eating their own, don't they? I think I've always thought about him that he secretly agrees with us on so much, but he'll just never say it, which is why I hate him so much, because he's not like Don Lemon. Don Lemon's just an idiot. Don Lemon is just a low IQ ideologue moron. But Anderson Cooper's a bit cleverer, and what annoys me about him is that I know he knows better than some of the stuff he says on air.
I like that.
You know, and so I've always had a complicated relationship with him, because I can see in his eyes that he's uncomfortable with some of the things he's saying, and I think they're realizing now how badly they're alienating people. The more the public sees of Lena Dunham, Amy Schumer, and Kathy Griffin, the more likely it is that there'll be a Republican president forever. And I think they're starting to get the message.
This is why, though, I have to love you. We have to love you. And this is why, because you're consistent. See, if you would have come on here right now, I'll be honest, and applauded Loomer, I would have said to you, well, you're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite.
Well, I would have been one, but I think that's why people like me, because I just try to tell the truth.
No, but the truth of that doesn't matter. It's what you stand for. It may not be the truth, but you stand for free speech. Yeah. So if you say it's okay for this, but it's not okay for that, that's nonsense.
But I'm not going to deny. I'm just going to be an honest human being and just say I can't say that I didn't enjoy the spectacle.
Of course.
But I would like us to very, very quickly get to the state where left, right, up, down, gay, straight, we all just let everything happen. You know, let it all out. Let everybody argue and discuss and debate. Let everybody perform whatever they want, do whatever they want, pose with whatever they want, threaten whoever they want. You know what I mean? And then just, you know, and people, and let the chips fall where they may, and let people decide who they like and who they don't like.
Well, speaking of which, let me ask you this, Milo Yiannopoulos. In the studio with Bernie and Sid here, your book is dangerous, and it's you can pre-order it at Amazon. It's a best follow, and you didn't do it. You must have had a intense conversation with your people about it. Why didn't you do it?
Actually, it was more of a Sean Parker. It was called The Facebook. Facebook is cleaner. We just thought Dangerous was simpler, more straightforward, more iconic. It was going to get into people. It would be like a brainworm, you know. And it's, you know, the politics for the college tour. Dangerous puts the focus on free speech and censorship.
Gotcha.
So it was.
Makes sense.
You know, there was also an element, because previously, of course, I had a mainstream publisher, and they were worried about Barnes and Noble putting a book on the table with that in the title, and I said I don't care about that. If they don't want to carry it, Amazon will, and I don't care. But we actually came to the decision for artistic and
that makes sense. But it's very
theoretical reasons.
It's ironic, because you were very outspoken about Ariana Grande, whose tour, by the way, when the whole bombing went down in Manchester, is the Dangerous Woman tour. By the way, have you come around since
why do these people keep copying me? I keep seeing.
Son of a gun, Grande copied you.
I keep seeing. No, look, I keep seeing, because I'm the person that every progressive follows but doesn't admit that they follow, reads but doesn't admit that they read, listens to but doesn't admit they listen to. All these producers, designers, all the rest of it. So it's like, it's not a surprise. I'm like the most interesting media personality of 2016, and I have platinum hair, and then suddenly you see it in Versace ads. I mean, I'm not being egotistical. I see my effect on culture.
It's a fact.
I see my effect. This is why I've gone non-blonde now, because everyone else is doing it. No, the first time I saw somebody in the front row of one of my shows with bleached blonde hair, I was like, oh god, I've got to change my hair.
It's mainstream.
Oh no, of course these people follow me, and anyway, this is the curse, I guess, of being kind of on the bleeding edge of culture. People are always going to steal your stuff.
It ain't easy being Milo. Listen, Milo, I gotta stop you.
The Milo is easy.
It ain't, but Milo is easy. Look, we have to break, Milo, and we're going to come back as per usual after we spend another 15-20 minutes with you on the other side. If you're good to go and hang out with Bernie.
Of course, I would love to.
You are the man. The book is Dangerous. You can pre-order it on Amazon right now. Milo Yiannopoulos in the studio. We're coming back on the Bernie and Sid Show.
Mr. New York, where New York comes to talk.
Got the afternoon free. If you ever wake up with carpal tunnel and you need a hand, let me know.
See, what kind of great guest is that?
Well, this is what he.
Sexiest radio show host.
Look at this guy.
In New York, it would be my privilege to hold the razor for you.
Oh.
There you go. Look, you're making him blush.
I know.
He's so tan and dark.
He's making me think.
You can't. Converting him.
But once we get to that, the shaving the face part, which is something that Bernie does. You see him on TV. He looks fantastic. Milo gets a great shave. And everybody uses Harry's razors. That's it. They're the best. Quality, convenience, and cost. Nobody better, right? You go to harrys.com, you get the best shave of your life.
No doubt about it. The quality, cost, convenience, Sid. Those are the three things that Harry's is appealing.
You can't beat it.
That's why they're appealing. Yeah.
So Jeff and Andy started this company. They're doing so well, they're giving stuff away for free. That's how it's called customer appreciation. You get the trial set, which includes Truman set ergonomic handle, Truman set, I should say, 5 precision engineered blades with lubricating strips and trimmer blades, rich lathering shave gel, travel blade cover, and post-shave balm. A $20 value, by the way, retail value, free. Just go to harrys.com today, put WABC in the promo code box. Again, the shave of a lifetime. Cost, convenience, quality. All at harrys.com.
Bernard McGurk.
Damn, lady, get over yourself.
Sid Rosenberg.
The one and only choice.
Studio View is live right now.
Keeping it real.
Take a listen. Take a peek. WABCRadio.com.
Back on the Bernie and Sid Show.
See who's on CNN right now?
Oh, God.
Yeah. I'm going to be in Broward County today. Milo now lives in Dade County down in Doral.
I do.
I got to know Debbie Wasserman Schultz very well the 15 years I lived there and hated her. I mean, really hated her.
She's just a bizarre entity.
She's one of the reasons why we have President Trump.
Yeah,
she
is.
It's like, I kind of feel like she's been constructed by Republicans. She's like, sort of, if you just imagine the most repulsive, like the most repulsive Democrat imaginable, the kind of person that will just turn voters to Republicans no matter who the candidate.
Oh, Nancy Pelosi too.
Nancy Pelosi, Debbie, whatever.
And Hillary, Elizabeth Warren, liars and
what
sneaks.
What is wrong with these women? What is, and they say, and the other thing is just they have that disease that Democratic women have, where they think it's a virtue to be ugly, and I've never understood it. You go to the RNC and everyone's a size 0 in a beautiful color little skirt, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I've gone to gay heaven, and I'm like, why are gays not Republicans? You've got a drag queen in the White House, you've got these beautiful women at the RNC, and anyway, no, they just, it's so odd to me. I don't know.
Look, we wanted to stay this way because it's helping us, and this country's being saved because these women, some of them are so repulsive and unethical, corrupt. What this woman did at the Democratic National Committee.
Isn't Nancy Pelosi just she's gone bonkers, isn't she? She's like senile. She calls names wrong every day. She picks the wrong president. You know, she like says the wrong. She says that Bush is in the White House or something. Something like that. I mean, she just you got
to look at Nancy Pelosi and go, this is why I'm gay.
I do. Yes. Well, I'm one of those rare gay people who will be honest with you and say that I chose it to annoy my mother. And you know, I continue. I'm stuck in a rut now, but I continue to choose it thanks to women like Nancy Pelosi. No, just women who looked the same, you know, when they were in their prime in 1812. Good.
True. Look, we have a bunch of guys outside that some of the gay people here on the 17th floor who love you. They want to take pictures with you, Milo.
Is that true?
I know they were gay. They're low key.
We're going to do some. My boy Jose and Justin. Yeah, they're.
Oh no, Justin's very
out and proud. Yeah, as a matter of fact. Yeah. Anyway, Deb's going to do the news. We're going to take a couple pictures with Milo and come back after the news with Milo Yiannopoulos on the Bernie and Sid Show.
From the NJDiet.com studios, 77 WABC, New York. News now.
Well, talking about Nancy Pelosi, we're about to hit
848 WABC.
There could be an explosion at any time.
Get in, get truth. 77 WABC.
Like triple Mariah today. Wow.
Not too stereotypical.
But you see, under ordinary circumstances, I'd be complaining about being heckled, but you chose my 3 favorite Mariah songs, so I'm good.
Really?
But are you? And I love Mariah, too. You can't argue she's a beautiful voice. But
you could.
Really? I think she's wonderful. Well, her voice is great.
Okay, all right.
But aren't
you're
you even a little down on her after what she did New Year's? That was terrible.
No, of course not. Are you insane?
What?
No, she shows up and there's some technical malfunction and she tries to like make the best of it, and it's clear that nobody, you know, she got screwed somehow, right? She couldn't hear herself in the monitor until you get up on stage, and I only know this from speaking. I don't know from singing and performing, except, you know, back in school or whatever. But if you can't hear yourself on the monitor, you can't sing. Because what the audience is hearing is totally out of sync with what you are perceiving from the stage.
Okay.
So if you don't have a monitor in your ear that's functioning, you can't sing, you can't perform, you can't do anything. So if her ear isn't working, and you'll very often see, and Mariah has this wonderful thing where she's always corpsing, she's always dropping out of character, and you know, she'll just be like holding her, and she'll just be like, I'm sorry, do we have air? Like, what is going on here? Like scolding people from, you know, during a live performance. It's wonderful.
You like that?
It's part of what.
But I wasn't even talking about that. I was talking about what she was wearing. Of all people, you're so critical of people. She is a perfect and beautiful angel, and you will bow down and worship at the temple of Mariah Carey.
If she was lesbian, you'd be calling her fat and sloppy and this, that, and the other. Because she's Mariah, she gets a pass.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Listen,
if she were lesbian, she'd be my one exception. She'd be the okay lesbian.
All right.
As it is, the okay lesbian is Camille Paglia, who is a very famous feminist critic.
Brilliant,
who is fantastic, and you sometimes hear her pop up and say very interesting and
That's the only
scholarly.
lesbian you like? You don't like Ellen DeGeneres?
Is that a joke?
Really? No, Camille is a brilliant woman. She's a brilliant writer.
She's my exception lesbian.
Drudge features her constantly. And you, Milo, you're still banned from Twitter, but your Facebook page is fantastic.
It is. It's like 2.2 million people hanging on my every word. But you know, it's great. I go there for my own news in the morning because the team is running. They have this amazing operation on this thing, and I wake up in the morning and I'm like, what happened yesterday? And I go to my own page, and then I start reading around and talking to people, and it's wonderful.
So you can never go back on Twitter the rest of that's it? Never?
I don't think they'll ever have me back because I'm too effective and popular. And
can't you just go under a pseudonym or something that everybody would know?
No, because here's the thing. They banned me for spurious reasons. They banned me for BS, right?
Right.
And if I go back under a pseudonym, I'm actually breaking an explicit rule, right? I didn't break any of their rules. They claim I broke their rules. I didn't break any of their rules. Ultimately, they can have whoever they want on the network. But basically, like, I didn't do anything wrong. If I go back and explicitly evade their ban,
I see what you're saying.
Then they really can ban me for life. Whereas right now it's in this sort of gray area where I think I have the moral high ground. If I just stop breaking their rules, then they're probably entitled to ban me for life.
But don't you need some type of setup? Like the Facebook page is great. Bernie's right, but it's not. You're not talking to the fans out there. That's your business, your news. Don't you need some social media setup where you can actually talk to your millions of fans?
Well, I do on Facebook. The problem is that, the Ariana Grande stuff we were talking about earlier, the problem is censorship from these very left-wing, Silicon Valley corporations. And there's no easy way for conservatives to reconcile this with their First Amendment principles, because we don't want to start legislating what private corporations can do. But at the same time, look at me. I'm just a, sassy gay Brit who cracks fat jokes and doesn't like feminism very much, and Twitter's banned me. My criticism of Ariana Grande, Facebook made me take them all down, or they said, right? I don't even want to tell you the full conversation because I don't want to incur their wrath, But I will go as far as to tell you that Facebook made me take all of those posts down.
Shocking.
Wow.
Because I criticized two of their favorite things, Ariana Grande, a millennial pop star, and Islam.
Wow. Milo Yiannopoulos
at the same time
in the studio here with Bernie and Sid. Now, listen, speaking of your Facebook page, of course, there's a plethora of things, a lot of hypocrisy being exposed. You had this Muslim kid who was killed a couple of weeks ago. I believe it was in Virginia, and he was killed by an illegal immigrant of all people.
Yes, I don't hear the left screaming about that. Is it still? Are they still just
Right. All of a sudden they dummied up when they found out it was an illegal immigrant.
First of all, it's the greatest hate crime of the century, and then when they find out an illegal did it, suddenly it's not news anymore.
Right.
Okay, guys.
Sort of like the mass assassination attempt. 2 days later, they're on to other stories. If that had been
do you know what's funny?
Vanity
Fair finally yesterday released a story that said maybe the left has a political violence problem, and I'm thinking to myself, what? Actually, first of all, you guys invented it, and congratulations for joining the 21st century. My goodness. But, this is just part of the media legitimizing violence against conservatives by calling us all Nazis and then saying it's okay to punch Nazis by calling ordinary populist, nationalist, reasonable, respectable, mainstream conservatives white nationalists and white supremacists. When you do that, people in the street feel empowered to punch you in the face.
Feel justified, yes.
That's why my security bill is $500,000 a year, so I don't get killed.
That was Bernie's point, and he was right, was that when that gunman showed up at the baseball field that day, he felt like he was doing good work.
Supporter. Yeah, the Bernie supporter. He feels completely morally justified.
Right.
And in a way, who's to blame these damaged people who think that if you are a damaged person who believes that violence is the answer to somebody else's wrong ideas, and the whole of the media is suggesting to you that you're right, you can't. You can.
But to say that there's an equivalent problem on the right is abjectly ridiculous, absurd.
It is objectively obscene and ludicrous. Yes. But the left will continue to do so. And of course, every time there's a shooting, every time there's any kind of attack or anything, you can just see the CNN anchor's face, and in the back of their head, please let it be a white guy. Please let it be a white guy. And and it very rarely is.
Just like the attack in London, you could it was palpable.
No, they were like, please let it be white.
Well, except for
but you see how happy they were.
The last one they were happy.
How happy they were. They were. The media was so happy when finally a white guy plows a truck into and you got this human interest story, even in the right wing press, in the center right press, of the hero imam who saved the racist from being beaten up by the mobs, and you're like, give me a break. And then you see the actual reality, like, what was it, that Muslim peace march? Did you see that? It was there was a Muslim peace march. I can't remember what it was supposed to be, but they were expecting 10,000 people, and like 300 showed up, and half of them were just white reporters.
And CNN gave out placards and said, hey, listen, gather around here and let us take a picture and make it look like...
because there were no real protesters.
Wasn't Linda Sarsour there that day? Was that part of the...
I don't know. That's not the same one. No.
Okay.
By the way, as if you couldn't tell, Milo Yiannopoulos is in the studio. We didn't announce your name since the bottom of the hour. He's in the studio. He's not in New York for the Gay Pride Parade.
No.
They wouldn't let me in.
They wouldn't let him in.
They wouldn't let me in. They hate me.
His book is Dangerous. You can pre-order it. That's literally the title, Dangerous. Pre-order it on Amazon. It's already a bestseller. Check that damn thing out.
What stores too, by the way, July 4th. It'll be out in less than 2 months.
So you're probably having fun July 4th, but July 5th, then
right.
So how?
The stores that will stock it, of course.
True.
So people keep writing to me saying I went to my local bookstore, and of course, bookstore owners are so wishy-washy liberals. And they said they refused to order your book from me.
No, that's like is Barnes and Noble in the city? Are they going to carry your book?
I just replied, it's cheaper on Amazon anyway. Don't worry, darling.
You're right. Screw it.
So many things. How I don't know where we want to go, but Daddy, as you call him, was fantastic back on the stump last night in Iowa. I mean, he's got his he's got his the wind at his back after the election Wednesday night, of course.
Yeah.
But he was just fantastic. The reason why we voted for him, we saw him again last night. He was.
It's nice when you get a taste of it again, isn't it? I mean, look, all I want is two things, and one of them he's already accomplished. The only thing I wanted from a Trump presidency was the complete extinction of political correctness in America, which is now underway. And it's a 30-year project, but his election was a huge leap in that direction. It's a cause that I will now take up and complete for Daddy. And the second thing is just build the wall,
Yes.
And so as long as he gets around to doing that, I want to, the free speech stuff. We're on the way. They're losing. They know they're losing, which is why they're getting so vicious and violent. Like animals are the most dangerous just before they die, like wild animals. They're lashing out. They know they're losing. They know that we've got this in the bag.
The collusion hoax has been exposed.
Oh my goodness! So how much reporting about there's no evidence at all whatsoever.
No,
but CNN won't shut up about
nonsense.
But this is anyway. So the only two things I want from this presidency were 50% of the way there. Okay. First of all was the extinction of political correctness in America, and he's done as much as he can do on that. Now I think everybody feels empowered to say whatever they want, pretty much. And two, I just want him to build the wall. So once he's done that, I'm going to be happy. But yes, last night was a nice reminder of what got people excited.
Let me ask you something that's nothing to do with politics. It was a big story this week. I don't know, but I thought about you because you're a very sensitive person, okay?
I am. Yes. I have very delicate feelings.
Yes, you do. So here was a story me and Bernie covered a couple of days ago, and it got very, very hot on the air, okay? Mm-hmm. There's a story that's been in the news about a young girl. She's 16 years old, and she was just convicted by a judge, okay? She had a friend. He was a young kid, 16-year-old boy. He wanted to kill himself.
Yeah.
So the little boy goes inside the truck, and he starts to kill himself, okay? He starts the suicide. Yeah. He steps out of the truck, and he texts her. And she's been talking about killing herself for a while. Steps out of the truck. He texts her. He goes, I'm freaking out. I can't do it. She goes, get back in the truck. Don't you be a wuss. He goes, but my family's going to miss me. And she goes, quote, they'll get over it. Get back in the truck. So the kid gets back in the truck, and he kills himself. My contention is, I don't care if this girl's crazy. She's a little bitch. She needs to go to jail. I don't care how old she is. What are your thoughts?
That's I don't know. I would have to think about it. Yeah, my default instinct is always you do not send people to prison for things they say. You send people to prison for things they do.
Right.
I think that's something that's a court of public opinion thing. That's something that the media is going to take up, and she's gonna I think she will, because of the press at least functioning slightly. That's a situation in which the public sector, the private sector, that the media can take over. That her reputation is going to be destroyed forever.
Right.
Thank goodness.
Right.
And she will never be able to walk out in the street without people knowing that she's the one who encouraged her friend to kill himself. I'm just one of these people who's just reflexively, you can't jail people.
No matter what. Okay.
I just, if you punch somebody, fine. If you yell at somebody, I just don't want people in jail for things they say. I just don't. Right. And she's obviously the most, one of the most odious people walking the planet. But then she's also a child. She's 16. Who knows what she could be if she reforms her life after this experience.
Right.
And maybe she'll turn out to be somebody terrific. Maybe she'll run for office and do good things.
How about Chelsea Clinton? She's out there. Steve Bannon makes a joke about Sean Spicer being fat. she's freaking out over fat shame.
You can't fat shame. My goodness, it's so great that it's like she has so little to say. Like the left has so little to say except we're not Trump, that all they can do is fall back on these maxims. Just these maxims and platitudes. But however, I must bring this up. The most interesting story, and I think it's the most interesting story. I'm telling everybody this. I think it's the most interesting story of the year. The most culturally significant story of the year is Dolce & Gabbana and Miley Cyrus feuding.
Yes.
And Dolce & Gabbana, famously right-wing gay Italian designers, and they kind of don't really care about the gay establishment liking them. And Miley Cyrus's brother walks in does their catwalk and then scolds them for dressing Melania Trump. And they respond by selling boycott Dolce & Gabbana t-shirts, and it's so ballsy. And I'm just thinking to myself, is it conceivable that a fashion brand as recently as 6 months ago would be trolling the progressive left? No. And this is such a seismic, gigantic cultural shift. It's my favorite story of the year because it shows culture is changing, and that's where people get their real opinions from.
Milo, we're going to be all over it like you and your black boyfriend this weekend. We're going to look it up. Enjoy Gay Pride weekend in New York City.
Well, I'm going to be hosting a private party for people who do not sign up to all that gay lobby nonsense. People who are not obsessed with transgender pronouns and pretending that everything is okay. But people who actually get angry about, Pulse nightclub in Orlando and want to stop, Muslims slaughtering us. I'll be having a private party somewhere else in New York.
Milo Yiannopoulos, the bitch is back. Yes. The book is dangerous.
Yes.
Check it out.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always my favorite show.
We'll save Western civilization. We love you, Milo.
You're my favorite too.
Enjoy Gay Pride weekend on the Bernie and Sid Show.